Good morning. I am going to make sauerkraut and give it away for some Christmas presents because homemade sauerkraut actually has as much probiotics in it as yogurt, and it's a good option. So I thought I would film a little bit of the process. This is 3 small heads of cabbage, and I ran out of space. And this is 2, and let's see, I have 1 more to go. And so I'm going to chop it up pretty quick like. I just take it and peel some of the excess leaves off of it. Chop it in half. Take the cores out. You can save those and make some broth if you have something to make broth. Or vegetable broth. It's good for that. So, and then the recipe I follow says to use 1.5 tablespoons of salt for 3 pounds of cabbage. So I have almost 12 pounds of cabbage here. So I'm going to use about 6 tablespoons. I'm going to start this project of grinding it up. I have a very simple Hamilton Beach food processor. Most of you probably have much better ones, but this one works. So here we go. Tell it gets plugged up, so I can empty it out a little bit, but when I get all done, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I got all the cabbage, so that's 3 heads, so about 6 pounds each. So in each one of these, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of salt. Sprinkle it around, because you're going to, as in the first recipe I ever read, said you're going to massage your cabbage with salt into the cabbage. And you're going to be surprised. Now make sure your hands are clean, of course, and maybe take your rings or jewelry off, and you just start massaging. Probably a good 10 minutes. And you'll see all the water that comes out of the cabbage. And I'm going to do the same for the other one, and then it'll probably all fit in this jar when I'm done, believe it or not, crock. I'm going to age it all together in the crock, and then when it gets closer, in maybe 10 or 15 days, then I'm going to put it in quart jars. And I'm hoping to get about 3 or 4 quarts out of this. I usually get 1 quart out of a large cabbage. So since these were small cabbages, I might just get 3 quarts out of it. I'm not real sure. So massaging your cabbage. It's very tense. That's one reason it's probably good to use a food processor, because it is good to have consistent shred, so some of them aren't real thick, because it just helps your cabbage ferment better. You can hand chop all this if you'd like, but I still think, even though it's a little time consuming and messy, or if my food processor is messy, that it's easier, and it's probably get a better consistency out of your sauerkraut. You can already see it shrinking, and I haven't even been massaging for a minute or 2. So I am going to come back to you when I am had it massaged for 10 minutes. Okay? Okay, now I wanted to show you close up that both of those bowls fit into this. And the one reason to massage it is to pull that water out, because You can actually salt it and pack it into the jars, but it just takes a little longer to get to this process. So if you massage your cabbage, and you know it's probably uptight from the picking and getting to the market experience, anyway, that you can kind of save yourself or save the process a little bit, because you can see how much water has come off that cabbage. So now, since I'm doing this crock, I'm going to take these extra leaves and just kind of pack it over it. You can, once it gets into the jars, you can put an onion on top of it, or you can put a cabbage leaf like this, but this just keeps it kind of down in the water, and I'll put a heavy plate on top of it to keep it so that it's all soaked. That's kind of coming down. Okay, and then you get the water. You don't really want to expose the cabbage to the air, but so you'll see it in a day or two fermenting. It'll start bubbling, and that's what you want, and you know the process is working. So I'm going to find a plate that's heavy enough. Then I'm going to put a dish towel over it, a cotton dish towel, and there you have it. So the salt I used was just a sea salt. Remember, 1.5 tablespoons to 3 pounds of cabbage. Massage for 5 to 10 minutes. I actually just massaged this probably for about 5 minutes each container. Packed it all in there. So I found a pie plate that fits over this pretty good. It does give it some room to breathe, because you want that so it has room to ferment, and it also has some room. It's got about a 1/2 inch. If your crock or your jar is filled all the way full, you might want to put some kind of a platter or plate underneath it, because it's heavy, a rock. But I'm going to put them on there just to hold it down so that water is, you can see it almost coming up to the edge now. So I'll probably put a tray under mine too. The other thing I want to let you know is that you can put caraway seed in it. Just massage it right into when you're doing it. Since I'm giving this away for Christmas presents and I'm not sure the folks like caraway, I'm just making plain. And you are going to be so surprised at how wonderful this sauerkraut is, because most people think that sauerkraut has vinegar in it, but it's really the fermentation that creates that probiotic effect. Okay, just a quick one to show you. It's in a tray with a towel over it, weighted down next to my Brussels sprouts that I've been popping off daily and eating, but I just wanted to show you what it's going to look like. Okay, it's been 4 days since I put this sauerkraut up. You can see, use an old towel because it did leak out. So let's see what we got going on here. If I move my rocks, okay, they're kind of already saturated. So good thing you put them in plastic. But you can see, or hopefully you can see all the little bubbles that have formed around. And lift this lid up. So there's been a lot of fluid that has leached up and over, but that's all right. I'm going to clean that out. It certainly looks like it's fermenting, bubbling up, so we're progressing well. Good morning. It's December 17th. It's been 11 days since I made the sauerkraut. And remember, I gave you one peek after 3 days, but I want to deliver it to somebody today for a Christmas present. So, towel comes off, my rocks and stones, they leaked all over this, but it was dried out some. Here is this, it's been setting. I'll just take that off. And then we're going to take all the pieces of cabbage that were covering it, keeping it nice, and then that's the sauerkraut. So some of the water spilled out when I was putting it on top of my refrigerator, but it looks really good. I'm going to give it a quick taste. It's really good. So I'm going to package it in these quart jars. Okay, packing it into the jars. This ended up not being very watery. Let's see here. More in there. Fill it to the top. That's it, it's plenty watery down there. Okay, let's wipe off the edge. In the jar. Put a lid on it. There you go. Christmas presents are ready. I am, in case you want to keep filming, I'm packing all the jars. Remember, I was hoping to just get 3 quarts, and it looks like I'm going to get more this time. There's a lot of water in the bottom of this, as you can see. So it was just kind of dry on the top. Before packing it, it'll be fine. Okay, remember this was 6 small, yes, I think 6 small heads that made this crock. And this is just the liner of a old crock pot. And you can find them at all the Goodwills, or if your crock pot goes bad, keep the crock. And like I reminded you once, you could add caraway to it. And you could add the caraway now, but you can add it when it's fermenting also. I have to go get more.